Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. You know what's not doing great? My webcam. That's right. I am coming to you from Vancouver, and Vancouver didn't pay its internet bill. So you're going to see this camera freak out because the Ninja likes to move fast. His lips move even faster. So I want to talk to you about something, and I'm going to have a conversation with a very important person today, and we're going to talk about what's going on with ChatGPT. Now, let me share the screen really quick, and I want to show you something, and we're going to roll into what's going on with ChatGPT and all of these the unemployment rate that's rising. The Federal Reserve wants it to, but something very scary is happening with this new technology. Now, check this out. The unemployment rate and gold. What is the relationship between the unemployment rate and gold? Well, unemployment is counter-cyclical. So it negatively correlates with the GDP over the business cycle and gold. It means that the unemployment rate increases as economic activity slows and companies lay off workers, and decreases when the economy expands, when firms hire more workers. Hence, the unemployment rate should be positively linked to gold, which also often shines when the economy struggles. Let's take a look at the chart. And if you look at this chart right here, the price of gold, when unemployment goes up, and the price of gold literally takes off and starts to shine. Now, with that being said, I want to bring in today's guest, and that is Ewan Downey of I-80 Gold. And we're going to talk about something that's not related to gold today. And I want you to stick around because as an investor in this space, you're going to want to hear that. Ewan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's been a good start to the year, and our projects are just starting to ramp up, and looking forward to what 2023 has to bring for our company.
I think it's going to be really positive, to be honest with you, in the entire sector. Gold is going to shine, but I think it's going to shine because of some bad things. Now, we were talking off camera about your recent interaction with ChatGPT. Do you mind talking about that real quick?
Yeah, I just really learned of it in the last, I'd say, week or so. A friend of mine was showing me on his phone and just said to his phone, write me an offering document for a gold mining company, and the thing just started typing away right in front of my face. I thought it was pretty remarkable. And the other guy that was with us was like, hey, what is that? And downloaded it right away.
Yeah, it absolutely blows my mind. And what I did really quick before you jumped on, I asked ChatGPT a question, and I asked it to write a 150-word explanation on why the gold price rises when unemployment rises. And literally within 5 seconds, this popped out. And I'll just read just a section of it. When unemployment rises, it indicates the economy is not performing well. This can lead to concerns about inflation and potential recession. As a result, investors may turn to gold as a safe haven asset. Gold is seen as a relatively stable investment that holds its value well during times of economic uncertainty. During recession or economic downturns, the central bank tends to lower interest rates to stimulate the economy. I can't make this up, but ChatGPT literally did in 5 seconds. And it says, which could lead to a decrease in the value of a currency. As a result, gold, which is denominated in US dollars, becomes more attractive as an investment option, as it holds its value better than the currency. The reason why I want to have you on today, Ewan, is talk about what it was like as the unemployment rate rose during the Great Recession. You've been in the gold industry for quite some time, correct?
Yeah, well, I really started kind of in base metals and gold. So looking for copper, zinc, gold, silver, looking for all metals. But I've been involved really primarily gold since 2007. And obviously lived through 2008, which was a pretty scary time.
It was scary, but didn't it get pretty exciting once gold caught a bid right after, about 4 weeks after Lehman Brothers closed their doors?
Yeah, well, as your article that you just had done by ChatGPT said, during times of economic uncertainty is usually when gold performs the best. And I think we're seeing that right now, particularly with the kind of I wouldn't say currency war, but there's a bit of an economic war between the East and the West going on right now.
Yes.
And we're seeing it affect economies significantly. And, governments may be pushing this green initiative a little too hard. There's going to be no more fossil fuels, has helped to foster a lot of inflation. And as you've seen during this period, that the gold price is increasing. And after 2008, we sure witnessed as the government started reducing rates and trying to spur the economy on again, gold went to all-time highs and our stock price hit all-time highs. So I'm looking forward to that happening again with our new company here.
I completely agree. And what's interesting is that we find ourselves in the beginning of 2023, like you said, with a lot of uncertainty, with an economic war essentially that's going on. Like you said, the East versus the West. This is no joke, no laughing matter. And we find ourselves with gold prices near their all-time highs. So where it took gold last time, we're already there. So what happened with your investments when you saw, like, if you can give an example, what was it like, the leverage that the gold equities had, both sides, the downside and the upside, during that Great Recession, going into that gold price going up?
Well, initially, when the housing crisis hit, our stock fell like everybody. So everything was for sale.
Yep.
And people are selling their good stocks with their bad stocks in that type of environment. But once that settled out, the banking stocks, the so-called safe stocks, really underperformed for quite some time. And the gold price started to rise significantly to what was then all-time highs. And our stock during that period, I believe, quadrupled or more than quadrupled. Yeah. It came off again as the economy recovered, but there were several years of really strong performance, and we've seen that again more recently with some of the what's gone on in the world. It was just a couple of weeks ago that we hit our all-time high in I-80's share price, went up to 420. We sold off a bit currently, but I think this year we're definitely going to see new highs in our stock, and with the new discoveries we've made, I'm expecting we go significantly higher than we are today.
That brings me to a question I want to ask you, because we were talking about gold to start this with, but you have an interesting take on zinc. And I've been talking about copper, all the metals, copper, nickel, silver, everything. And not a lot of people, like you said earlier off camera, talk about zinc. Can you go into what's going on with zinc and how important it is to our country's survival, essentially?
Yeah, definitely with what's happening with as we talked about earlier, the East versus the West, we're seeing a lot of the production of metals that we need come from places like China and Russia. And obviously with what's happening with Russia and Ukraine right now, with the support coming from the West, the governments, and the Biden government in particular, has really keyed in on perhaps almost what Trump was always saying. We need to, make America great again, do everything here at home. And now we're starting to see the Biden government take that same attitude towards metals, because as they are looking to this green transition, the amount of metals we're going to need is astronomical. And I know you're a big copper fan.
Yep.
But copper isn't on the critical metals list for the United States yet. Zinc is, and it was added about 12 months ago.
Wow.
And if you look at production of zinc in U.S. mines, there's hardly any. Teck shut their Pend mine not too long ago. The Near Star Tennessee mines, I don't even know if they're still producing. So zinc is not being made very much in the U.S. And if you look at the last couple of decades, there's one or two discoveries that have been made in all of the United States. So while we're seen as a gold company, we also have a very significant zinc deposit. In fact, yeah, I believe it's one of the highest grade new zinc deposits anywhere in North America. And we just discovered it. That's why our stock recently went to new highs, was because of that discovery. And yesterday, we just announced that we're launching an expanded drill program that is looking at this, and it's really a polymetallic deposit, because if you look at the grades we have, it's not just high grade in zinc, it's very high grade in lead. It has amongst some of the best silver results that are being drilled by any company in the United States right now.
Wow.
And we're hitting gold grades up to 60 grams per ton in that base metal. So it's really a multi-metal discovery we've made that is, I believe, one of the highest grade new metals discoveries made anywhere in the world in 2022.
Wow. Now, I've told people, and I've been on record many times saying that I think it's very important to be investing in the metals and mining sector in the U.S. Also have a diversified portfolio geographically, but it is, like you said, the U.S. for decades seemed to really not care or put a lot of importance in mining efforts in our country. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, a lot of countries, we saw, a lot of states actually put in moratoriums against mining. And over the last several years, we've seen several states like Maine and Wisconsin have backed off that. They've changed to introduce legislation to allow for mining. So I think the do it here at home is starting to resonate. We all have lights, we all have cars, we all have televisions. The amount of metals we need for that to happen is substantial. And if we can't rely on that supply chain being Russia and China long term, we're going to have to figure out how to do it here at home. And we are one of the fastest growing producers in the United States. We expect to become the second largest gold producer in the United States over the next 5 years. And now we think we're going to have a very significant zinc lead component to our future production that we believe will match well with these critical metals that people are seeking in the North America.
Yeah, and that's something I want to explain to the listeners as well, is that you are a major producer. You're not an exploration company. That was a long time ago. You're now producing metal, and your market cap, where's it sitting right about now?
Right about now, we're sitting at, I believe, probably around 500 and something million US.
Yeah.
We have significant existing infrastructure, milling infrastructure at 2 sites that if you were to rebuild that infrastructure today would cost likely 3 times our current market cap. Never mind the fact that we're one of the largest holders of gold and silver resources in the United States. So I think we're underpinned with a lot of value from our asset base. Yeah. And as we continue to advance those projects to production, where our production's fairly small this year, but year on year over the next several years, it'll continue to increase to the point where we expect to become the second largest producer of gold in the United States over the next 5 years.
That's an awesome goal to go for. So now, other things I want to explain too with people, when we're talking about investing in this space, there's a lot of people that go for very speculative exploration plays because they have so much volatility. But and this is not financial advice, but when I look at it as an investor and you want a well-rounded portfolio, holding a major producer is going to have less volatility as opposed to an exploration play, but also you're going to still get that volatility, that movement levered to not only the price of gold, but like Ewan said, what's going on with the stock market, what's going on with the market in general. Is unemployment going up? And those are things that I like to look at and when I make my pick. Ewan, would you think that's a pretty good explanation?
Yeah, great explanation. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Awesome. Well, that's because I just asked ChatGPT. So well, hey, thank you so much, Ewan, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Is there anything in closing you want to go over? Because I appreciate you talking about the lead and zinc. I think that's very important that people need to start really looking when they're looking at their portfolios to look at what's going on with zinc. Is there anything else you want to close with?
No, I think I'm just a huge proponent of the resource sector in North America. I think we've seen a lot of mistakes made by the government. The canceling of the Keystone Pipeline, I think, was a mistake. It would have been very good for both Canada and the United States had they built it. And Canada has a government that's really pushing to abolish gas. And I just can't see how we hit that transition as quickly as the government is stating. I think it's more political talk than real economic talk. But if they were thinking economically, in Canada and the United States, we'd really be embracing our resource sector more. And we're just starting to see that, I think, with the Biden administration's new initiative at supporting critical minerals. And the U.S. government has actually invested in Canadian mining projects in the last 6 months. So I would expect we're going to be a targeted company by them because we are a producer of multiple metals, or we will become, a producer of multiple metals.
Well, it's refreshing to talk to you because in this day and age, common sense just ain't so common. But I do appreciate your take because it is legit. This is the real thing. And hopefully, like you say, in this last 6 months that this administration is starting to turn around and start to focus on this. And I think we need to make red hats that say, make mining great again in America.
Yeah. Maybe you should launch those. I'll buy one.
There you go. I got my first customer. Thank you so much. Well, Ewan, I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you supporting this channel. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And guys, go check out i-80 Gold. I'll put the link to the website below. And again, Ewan, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on again.
No problem. All right. Well, that being said, I got to find the stop recording button because I got to go on behalf of the Economic Ninja. I'm out. Oh, see, wrong button. This is what happens. Let me look for it now.